I will. And today I am joined on the Make It Happen Hangout with Angela Clark from Valued Support Services. Hello, Angela.
Hello.
And the reason, what I wanted to do today is just explain briefly to you a little bit about the Make It Happen Hangouts, why I do them and what I hope you're going to get from them as the audience. So, first of all, the reason I started doing Make It Happen Hangouts is because every day I come across women who have a goal, a dream, a challenge, an opportunity that they want to make happen. And what happens is that they are stuck in some way. They can't do it, they don't know how, and then they get frustrated and they don't move forward, certainly at the pace that they would like to, or they don't move forward at all. Then on the other hand, I meet wonderful people like Angela who have made it happen, are making it happen, and have taken the steps in order to either set up a business or do something fabulous in the world and fulfill their make it happen journey. And you know, they're already on that journey, so they've got wonderful insights to share as part of this process. So I started the Makeup Hangouts in order to be able to share that with you and to talk to people like Angela who can share with us their journey, their story, and how they make it happen and how they fit it all in. So Angela has set up her company called Valued Support Services. Angela's actually a wife, a mum of two lovely little children, and has been supporting board level executives since the age of 19. Now, I know that when she set up Valued Support Services, it's an executive virtual assistant business for non-executive directors, executive business consultants, and executive coaches. And you know, being quite driven and being quite motivated, Angela has managed to pull all this together, launch her business, and run a family at the same time. So what I want to do today is dig around with Angela and find out a bit more about her and how she makes it happen. How does that sound, Angela?
That sounds great. Thank you,
Okay.
Claire.
Okay, so first of all, Angela, what I wanted to ask you is if you could just tell us a little bit about you in more detail rather than my introduction, and just give us a little bit more about you, where you are, and how you've got to the point you're at right now.
Okay. Well, as you mentioned in the intro, I have been kind of a PA assistant type thing since I was 19. I actually wanted to be a teacher to begin with, but kind of fell into this, but realised that actually I was very good at it and I very much enjoyed it. I've always been quite innately organised, so it kind of fitted with me. I worked my way up quite quickly within my first role, and just kind of it all went from there. Desperately wanted to get into the city, so I did. Was there for almost a decade, again supporting high-level executives. Amazing. I mean, a lot of people want to get out of the corporate world, but I loved it, actually. I really enjoyed it. I loved the pressures, the deadlines, etc. But then I had two small children, so Izzy's 5 and Zach's 2.5, and so I became a full-time mum. And then the back end of last year, an ex-colleague of mine approached me to do a bit of associate work for her. She'd set up her own virtual assistant business. And it really made me realise that actually I really wanted some work back in my work-life balance, because I had no work at all. And actually I'd carved out quite a career for myself, and I missed that, if I was honest. I mean, yeah. I saw my children, but there was something about, you know, doing something for yourself and that is well within your skill set. So I decided to set up my own business. So I started doing that back end of last year. Kind of just, yeah, put everything into place, was, you know, starting to social network and stuff like that. Realised that actually if I wanted to make this happen, I would actually have to get out there and put my name out there and actually tell the world what I was doing, rather than just sitting there hoping it would all fall into my lap, really.
Yeah.
So I would say I launched in March, really, when I went to my very first networking event. So yeah, so it's all kind of snowballed from there, really.
So when you decided that you wanted to set up your business, was there a particular catalyst? Was there a particular moment in time where you went, now's the time to do this? What was the actual turning point where you went, right, I'm going to do it, I'm going to make it happen?
If I'm completely honest, I wasn't always happy being a full-time mum. I think I thought I wanted to do that. My mum did it, and she did it amazingly well, and she was fantastic. And I think I wanted to emulate her. But actually, I am very driven, and I am very career-minded, and I needed something else. So
Yeah.
when the opportunity arose to do a bit of associate work, it kind of really made me assess, actually, I could start working again. And so that really just, as I said, lit the fire in me. And it was, I had a conversation with my husband, and it was really like, can I do this? Should I do this? Because we'd both decided, I'm quite happy that I was going to be a full-time mum. But he knows me well enough to know that I needed something a little bit extra as well. So he's been very supportive. So I'd say the catalyst was just the opportunity of working again, even though it was very ad hoc. And it wasn't necessarily a guaranteed workflow or anything, but it really made me realise that actually I wanted to do something for myself in the world that I used to be in, because I knew that I was good at it and I love doing what I do.
And I think the other problem that a lot of people experience is that if you are a mum and you're at home and you're full-time mum, there's a certain amount of guilt attached to it about going out to work again. Is this, especially if you've had the conversation when you've had children, well, I'm going to be the full-time mum, and actually that's quite, it's quite. I mean, I decided to go back to work quite quickly after I had children, but it's not for everybody. Some people want to be full-time mums, and that's absolutely fine, and I've coached people around that.
Yeah.
But I think for some people it's very hard to make that decision. For others it's quite easy, but because it's so easy they feel slightly guilty about it. Did you feel
that? Absolutely, I felt very guilty. So yeah, I still do at times. But because I can fit this business in and around my children, and my kids are young enough that they still, especially being 5, she just loves being at school. So the fact that some days she has to go into after school club or breakfast club is still exciting for her, and she always asks, so when am I next going? So it takes the pressure off and the guilt off. And obviously if at any point she said she didn't want to go anymore, then I would adjust that and I would just have to work around it. But I can still take her swimming, I still take her to ballet and things like that. So yeah, some of the guilt is alleviated.
You've got the best of both worlds, really. So the next question I've got for you, Andrew, is what exactly did you do to bring your idea to life when you decided? So you obviously had the conversation with your husband, you said yes, but right, we can make this work. What did you do next in order to bring your ideas to life?
Well, I think I actually feel like I did it a bit the wrong way round and a bit backwards for me. When I realised that I wanted to set up my own business, I kind of just kind of looked into it on the internet and stuff about exactly what a virtual assistant was, etc. And knew that I could do it, and that working virtually is no different from when I used to work for my bosses from home. So I knew that was, what that was and how that worked. I didn't entirely know who I wanted to work with at that point, but I went ahead with my branding anyway, because for some reason I felt that was important to me. And I mean, a lot of people have said that my branding is very calming, very clean, and I feel that I probably knew deep down who I wanted to work with, and that I wanted to get back into the kind of more high-level executive type people, because that's what I feel my branding reflects. So I had all that in place, and as I said, I kind of got onto Twitter, which I'd never done before actually until December last year, so I'm still a bit of a newbie.
Yeah.
But and set up a Facebook page and stuff. So after that, I then obviously started speaking to a few more VAs, including the lady who kind of was a bit of a catalyst for this, and they suggested some training with a company called VACT, which is the VA coaching and training company run by Carmen McDougall. So I looked into that and decided to do the VA mastery course. So I started that in April and graduated in August. So that, again, it doesn't necessarily show you how to be a VA, because in theory, if you've been doing this as a career, you know how to do it. It gives you the tools to market yourself and run a business, which obviously I'd never done before.
Yeah.
So I did the training whilst actually already having some clients on board, because I went networking in March and managed to get clients quite quickly.
Brilliant.
So yeah, so it was, I guess for me, even, yeah, I just think the branding came first, which actually a lot of people would say that it needs to come last once you've actually realised who you want to work with, what your message is, etc. But as I realised who I wanted to actually be working with and supporting, my branding, I feel, is already there, and it you know it balances that nicely. So I obviously subconsciously knew where I wanted to go. I just think I was so happy to be working again that at some point I probably didn't really care who I worked with necessarily. So.
And I think also, I mean, a lot of people when they first start their own businesses, you know, the branding does. I remember, as soon as I had a business card that I'd created, you know, I felt validated. I felt like, oh my God, I'm in this. And actually, sometimes you've just got to get started, and the rest will flow afterwards. It doesn't always have to be perfectly set out before you start, because actually you don't know where you're going, but you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So, Angela, what have been the biggest obstacles that you've had to overcome in the last, say, 12 months?
Me, if I'm honest. I think I'm definitely my biggest obstacle. I mean, being a PA, by nature, you're the support role, and you kind of do a great job and let whoever you're working for go out and, you know, wow the business. So to put myself out there has been a huge learning curve, and something I still am not 100% happy doing, but
Yeah.
I'm well aware that I'm the face of my business. I'm at the moment the only one in it, and therefore if I don't do it, no one else will, and I will stagnate, and you know it won't come to anything. So it's my mindset, I think, has been my biggest obstacle, which is obviously evolving and changing, and as I've become clearer and more focused on who I want to work with and how that's likely to happen, then yeah, my confidence has grown, and I'm much more about putting myself forward.
Because that's one of the things when I'm talking to people who are running business, you know, there's so many people that do hide behind their computers, and I know a lot of what you probably do involves technology and the internet, and you can do it all virtually, which means you have to spend a certain amount of time behind the computer. But I do find that people get stuck behind their computers, and putting yourself out there, whether it's on Facebook or physically out there, actually meeting people and going to networking events is so important.
Definitely. I mean, I think for me, you're right, everything is virtual, so in theory I may have clients that I never meet, but I think to an extent though it's still important. Face-to-face networking, I think, is very important for me, because I am very passionate about what I do, and I think that comes across much better when I'm talking to somebody face-to-face, rather than, you know, you can put that into a Facebook post or a blog post, etc., but there is something about having somebody right in front of you, and I find that's the best way to get people, you know, involved in what I'm trying to achieve, really. So
this question, I like this question because we all make them involved in it. So what's been your biggest cock up on your make it happen journey? Has there been one?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I've had a biggest cock up yet. I expect that to come, because I think everybody at some point, as you say, is going to. I think I've had missed opportunities. I think there's been you know, where I haven't put myself forward, or I haven't followed up properly, or yeah, I guess that's probably the biggest thing so far. Yeah,
just keep it that way. Let's just keep it that way, hey?
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So, what do you love about making it happen? What is it about what you do that you absolutely enjoy? I mean, what gets you out of bed in the morning? What's the thing that motivates you? What is it that you love about what you do?
I love organising and helping people. I love making their lives easier, and it's very important to me that with the clients I have, that I get to know them and know their business, because I'm not, you know, I love to learn anyway, so that's a great thing for me, is to learn lots of different things. But the more I learn about them and their business, the more I can help them and support them and anticipate what they might need, you know, so I can foresee that in a couple of weeks they might need to do something, so I can help get them there. Or in some cases I might see something that they haven't even realised yet that I can kind of, you know, help them with. Or yeah, just doing, I guess, little things that I just find quite easy to do, I guess, though I'm not sure what they are, but just make little things that make them go, oh, okay, thank you for that. I hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just knowing that they can get on with what they love doing themselves by letting me do what I love doing.
Yes.
That I love that yeah, I just get a lot of joy out of that.
And it's funny talking to you. It's obvious that you love doing that. You know, and all the bits that I probably hate, or people probably hate, you just love getting down and dirty with. And it's like, oh my God, what a relief! And I think delegation. I think the problem is as well. You know, no matter what job you do, I think people, and certainly I know I'm bad at this, is delegating or outsourcing or giving work to other people, and you think, oh, I can do it quicker myself, and 9 times out of 10 you can't, because when somebody who loves it and knows how to do it and is more efficient at it, it's passed over to them, then it makes it so much easier for you, and when it comes back, you know, done as you want it done, it's just such a relief.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely. I think it is. Yeah, I think, you know, people are getting there. I think people are realizing, especially, well, everybody, you know, from small business up, obviously big business are already aware of this, and they have, you know, departments of with PAs and stuff in there. But it is so important because, okay, it might take a little while to begin with to get that relationship, and okay, to probably teach that person exactly how you like it done, but they can probably still get it done quicker than you, even though you feel like you have to tell them how you like it done, or you know how you like things set up, what your branding is, colouring, fonts, etc., etc. If you're doing a presentation, for instance. So it's definitely, yeah. Obviously, you know, I'd say please just outsource to people so that you can concentrate on what you do
Yeah.
best, and let, you know, somebody do the stuff that you don't like doing, who actually is good at it and likes doing it.
Yeah.
So.
So how do you balance your kind of make it happen project, so your business, with family life and friendships and your husband and everything else? How do you manage to fit it all in?
Um, I think I'm quite lucky that I don't, you know, that it is quite virtual. I do have one client who I go on site for, which actually I quite like, because it's kind of nice to get out of the house and feel like you're going to work rather than just walking into your home office.
Yeah.
But it is quite easy to fit it in, because, you know, at the end of the day, I set this up now while my kids are still quite young, because I know I can work in the evening if I need to. So, you know, and if I put everything in place now, when my youngest goes to school in a couple of years' time, and I am able to, you know, have 5 days a week to juggle stuff around, I'll already have a solid foundation there. So it, you know, it is a lot of hard work, and I have to work in the evenings and sometimes at the weekends, though so far not so much. To be fair, most of the work I can get done for my clients during the day. It's working on my own business that, you know, you have to do around everything else, and that's, you know, I'm a big advocate of investing in yourself and learning. So I've done a couple of courses, and I'm on one now, and so that obviously takes time. You've got to carve out time in your day and in your week. But then I guess I have the luxury of that's what I do for a living. So if I can't do it for myself, I'm never going to be able to do it for anybody else. So
So what do you do? So if you have a day where you're feeling a bit muddled or a bit out of sorts, you know, how do you get the clarity that you need in order to move forward? What sort of things do you actually do?
Coffee normally for me. I'm a huge coffee drinker, so actually
God
sometimes,
bless coffee.
yes, pretty much. I don't know. I mean, I have, at the moment I have my son at home 2 days a week. So actually sometimes that's just actually the biggest motivator, that if I have a day where it's not gone to plan, or I've felt like, you know, unless, you know, there's huge deadlines, I've procrastinated a bit, maybe I just, you know, I get to play with my son for a bit, and he just kind of I reassess why I'm doing this. It's to obviously provide a better life for them eventually, so that, you know, because once business is up and running, you know, I'll be able to help support my family as well financially. It makes me a much saner person, so I'm a much happier person, and therefore a much happier mum.
Yeah.
That's a benefit to them. Um, so yeah,
Yeah, that's fine. So the other question I've got for you is, in terms of support, you spend your life supporting other people, whether it's your clients or your family or your husband or whatever. Who supports you?
Oh, my husband, definitely. I mean, he's been brilliant. I've got some amazing friends who truly believe in me as well. So, whenever I'm feeling a little bit like, why am I doing this? It's not going where I want it to go. They're there to say, no, look how far you've come. Everything else, I've got a business coach as well, so that's always helpful. It's nice to have a little support system, but also to kick you up the backside when you need it.
Yeah.
And I've got a lovely support network of some of my networking ladies that I network with. Sorry, they're amazing as well. Again, I can call on them to give me a bit of a chivvy if I need it. So no, I'm purposely surrounding myself with people who believe in me, especially for the days where I don't believe in myself. And yeah, that will just help me along and help me with any problems, or be soundboards, or anything really. A shoulder to cry on some days.
Box of Kleenex in the corner. So in terms of mindset, obviously when you're setting your own, setting up your own business and you're trying to juggle everything, you have to get yourself in the right mindset, and that's can be difficult on some days and easier on other days. So what do you think's been the biggest mindset shift that you've had to have in order to create your Make It Happen journey?
Self-confidence to begin with, to actually just sit up and get out there, and when you're networking, if you're structured networking, to stand up for a minute and talk about yourself is always a bit daunting. But also the determination that if I want to make this work and I want to be successful, then I have to do it. So I have to get out of bed and do it, even though quite clearly there's some days I don't want to, because I think everybody has those days where they'd rather just hide in bed and not do anything. But it's a case that I'm driven and I want this to be a success, and I know that I have to sometimes kick myself up the backside to just get on and do it.
Yeah, give yourself a talking to.
Pretty much.
So if you could identify the 3 most important ingredients in your Make It Happen journey, what would they be?
Networking for me,
Yeah.
definitely top. Having a really good support system, totally, and investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Not only do you have to believe in yourself, I believe that you have to invest in what you do, and have a good basis of training and anything like that. Really, just keep evolving and learning, because then it gives you just new ideas and new views on things, and I think that's always a good way to help evolve your business. But they're for me, they've certainly been the 3 key things for me.
And if someone who's watching this today was about to start a Make It Happen journey, whether that's starting, it could be anything, starting a business, doing something different, bringing an idea to life, what piece of kickstart advice would you give them?
I would say invest in yourself. I think I would just try and find out as much as possible about what you want to do. Find out who those key people are that are going to help you and support you, because there will undoubtedly be some people that don't believe in you because they don't understand, more than that, not so much that they don't believe that you can do it, but they just don't understand, so therefore think, why are you wasting your time? So I would definitely, invest in yourself, look for ways to invest in it, and really work out how you're going to achieve what you want to achieve, and then create a support system of people who believe in you, and will help you on that journey.
Yeah, brilliant. So what sort of help do you need now, Angela? Going forward, your business is evolving. If you could send out a message now to the universe, to the people who are watching this, what sort of help is it that you need? How can you, obviously given us your insights, what is it that you need right now?
Right now, that's a good question. I guess I've got to the stage now where I know exactly who I want to be working with. So it's kind of seeing now how I can start, creating those strategic partnerships with other people, so I can really build my business and really make it a success, and help others on their journey, and find who my clients work with, and therefore I can hopefully help them get there better by having a really strong couple of partnerships with people. So I think that's where I'm heading at the moment, is that I kind of know who I want to work with. But yeah, now it's just creating an even bigger foundation to really help support those that I want to support.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. Angela, thank you so much. You've given us so many insights into how you've got to where you were. And, you know, I think that idea about networking, having a good support system, investing in yourself are so important. They're the things I know that I do, and they're the things that I advocate when I'm working with people, because I know when I was building my business, once I've gone past, you know, family, friends, neighbours, dog and everything else, you've got to push out beyond where you are right now, and therefore you've got to be able to, and the only way to do that is to join a networking group or to network with people who may be interested in your skills, or even, and like you say, networking with people who are doing what you want to do. That is absolutely crucial, because they're the ones that have, you know, trod the path before you, who have the experience, who can give you some insights perhaps. And I think people sometimes are afraid of that they think, oh well, I feel like, for me, somebody emailed me today, I was running a group, and she said, oh, can I come, I'm a coach as well. And I said, no, I'm a great believer in networking with other people who are doing the same thing, because you can support each other, you can give each other advice, you've got insights, and everybody's got skills that they can share. So I do think that is absolutely, you know, vital that you do mix with people who are doing what you want to do.
Yeah, totally. No, you know, you can't do everything either. So you know, I know what I'm good at, but I know what I'm not so good at as well. And actually, you know, to have somebody there who's already doing what you're doing, so understands the pressures, but might be able to help you with the slight, you know, the bit that you're not so good on. Yeah, totally. I absolutely believe in networking with your peers. I mean, you need to do that, because it's a knowledge sharing exercise effectively, and that's so important as well. Otherwise, I don't think anybody can grow and evolve without that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something that you've not thought of, and you'll go, oh my god, what a great idea. You know, you can implement it. You're not stealing it or stealing their clients, you're just adding to your system, or you know, of how you work. So no, I think that's very important.
Okay, so Angela, if people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way of reaching you and getting in touch?
Probably on Twitter, which is @ValuedSupportS, because they wouldn't let me have Valued Support Services, not enough characters, unsurprisingly. And email's always good. And I have a Facebook page, but I do tend to be on Twitter mainly.
Okay, fantastic. So if people want to get hold of you, make contact via Twitter, yeah?
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for today. I really, really enjoyed that, and there's loads of useful information there. What I'll do now is upload the link, and if people want to get in touch with you, they can. And if anybody's got any questions, I suppose they can ask you that question on Twitter.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
All right, Angela, thank you so much. It's been an absolute joy talking to you today.
And you, thank you.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.